Hello everyone. With the changes to War Cry, I decided to try it out, and it's actually really good. Really good now, because you get extra range for every points you put in War Cry, and also every soft skills too. So if for example, my lore gives me more range to War Cry, so it's actually really good now. And this character is hardcore solo self-found, and from 30 I went Warcry, and it's been really smooth. It's really strong. The combination of Warcry with Battlecry to reduce the damage, physical damage of enemies, and also Grimoire to remove immunities or just to do more damage to bosses or minions in general. It's really strong. The only thing that is kind of weak with this build is killing bosses if you don't have a body close, so you can cast Grimoire. Because right now I don't have Radamant Sphere, which would give me 1 point Desecrate, so that would be really nice. But I don't have that yet. And for my gear, I have really basic caster gear. I have double Spirit Sword for the skills FCR, FHR. Magic Absorb really nice, and the mana, because this build can be mana hungry if you're not using Insight. For helmet, I didn't find a 3-2 Battlecry helmet or any good barb helmet, so I'm just using a random lore. I would prefer to use a 2 socket 3 Battlecry helmet and put lore in it, but I didn't find one yet. For armor, I'm using smoke because I really need the resistances. A Viper Magi would also be really good. Tall armor for more MF, or anything like Enigma, but obviously I'm not there yet. For gloves, I'm using Blood Fist. I also have Trank gloves in my mule, but I don't need the FCR right now because I'm high level enough. But you could also use Trank for the to hit the 63 FCR breakpoint, but I don't need them, so I'm using Blood Fist for more life, more FHR. For boots, my boots are not very good. 10 FHR, fire, poison res, gold fine. They're not very good. For my belt, also not that great. It's okay. Life, FHR, and fire res. You really need to be max res, so I always get the most life and res as possible. For ring, I'm using Dwarf Star, which is really good for Trav runs and just in general, because fire damage is what you need the most. Like absorb or resist in general, and it gives life, more gold, elemental and magic damage reduction. It's really good. A random FCR ring with poison res, it's not very good. And my amulet is pretty decent. 3 War Cry, 3 elemental and magic damage reduction, and a 5 all res corruption. And for my charms, just life, mana, res, charms, just not that great, but I'm pretty much capped in res. I'm not maxed out on cold, but it's not a big deal. Cold res isn't that useful. You just have to be careful about cold enchant, and that's pretty much it. For my skills, I have a War Cry maxed out, and the 2 synergies, Battlecry and Taunt. And also 1 point in Shout, 1 point in Battle Orders, and I'm maxing Battle Command. Next up, I'll be maxing Battle Orders, because right now I'm level 80, so all the other points are going to be in Battle Orders for more life. When you put 20 points in Battle Command and you get 3 all skills, like it shows right here, base level, if you have just 1 hard points, it's 1 all skills. If you have 10 points, it's 2 skills, and if you have 20 points, it's 3 all skills. So skills from my weapons or something like that don't give it extra skills. It just gives it more duration, so you have to put hard points in it. And also 1 point in Grimoire and Find Item, because I do use both of these. Grimoire to do more damage or to kill physical immunes, because Warcry deals physical damage. For combat masteries, 1 point in everything. If you're lacking resistances, it's pretty good to put a few points in natural resistance. Defense isn't that great, so just 1 point, and 1 point in increased speed to run faster. And if you want, you can put 1 point leap. It's optional. You can either use that or it teleports staff on switch or teleport amulet. In my stash I have a holy thunder, so it's really good. You can use that in a shield, like if you have spirit shield, or like right now I'm using the ward for res. You can use that or ancient pledge, so it's really good to have that on switch. But right now what I have is a gold dagger for MF and a Alibaba, so when I kill, let's say pit level 2 and I kill everything, after that I go use find item on the bosses. For mercenary I'm using Act 1 Merc with cold arrows. She shoots 3 arrows and I'm mainly using her for the movement speed aura that I get from Harmony, and also freezing archers in pits and just freezing enemies in general so I can get close to them and stun them. So she's using Harmony and a blade bow for the pretty good damage and very fast attack speed. Treachery for the resistances and attack speed. It's really nice. And right now I'm using a worm skull just so she gets some lifesteal. It's not that great, but a steel shade would have been better, but I don't have one obviously. You can also use the Act 2 Merc with combat aura, so you get prayer with an insight, so you get mid station and prayer combo, which is really good. Gives you a lot of sustain. When you're using insight, you pretty much don't have to use potions, mana potions, instead, except if you're playing against like mana burn or the ghosts in Chaos Sanctuary. If you're gonna do Chaos Sanctuary, I would highly recommend going insight, because you're gonna use a lot of potions, like 2 potions per ghost pack or something like that. The mana drain is just crazy. And also you could use the Act 5 Merc with Lawbringer, so you can proc Decrep aura, so you do more damage and also slows the enemy, which is really nice. And the Act 5 Merc is really tanky, so it can also help you to take aggro, and you're gonna keep him alive pretty easily with the BO. And now for some gameplay, I'm gonna show you guys my barb farming Fire Jungle, Pits, and Shrab, which are the main 3 area that would farm early. The Flare Jungle is probably the easiest. The only time that you might have some problem is if you're facing like a unique monster with amp damage. If you're amped, you have to be really careful about the soul killers, I think they're called, because they can mess you up. They don't do damage, but there's so many of them, and if you're amped, they're gonna do like more than half your HP with like if they all hit you. So you have to be mindful of that, but otherwise it's really easy. And again, you can cast your Grimoire to do even more damage, even though they're pretty low on HP. And also use fine items on bosses and champions. It's not really worth it to use fine items on like random mobs. It's better to just take the time of killing more over like trying to use fine items. And if you plan to farm Flare Jungle a lot, I would recommend putting 1 point leap or use a teleport staff on switch. I had my Alibaba and gold dagger on switch, so I didn't have that, and I don't have a point in leap, so I cannot get across the rivers easily. But I'm mostly doing trav runs and pits. I don't do Flare Jungle as much, but this place is really nice for runes because of the high density of monsters, and they're really easy to kill. And now for pit, sometimes you're gonna see some uniques on the way there. One thing you have to be careful about, if you see monsters right here, sometimes, I mean a lot of the times, there's gonna be minions camping outside, just outside the door. So you have to be careful of that. My Amazon died against a group of unique lancers and that had might and champion archers that were just behind the door, so it can be pretty scary. So if you're amp damage, mostly you have to be careful about that. And quill rats outside here can be fizz immune. I don't think this one is. Yeah, this one is fizz immune, so I just saw that and skip. They always hit, so again, if you're amp damage, just skip them, because even though I have like good HP, 2.3k, they can still kill me, so just run. Because other than that, only archers and range minion can really kill you. The other monsters in pits or outside of pits are pretty weak and don't do damage, and you can stun them anyway because they go melee range. But archers, it can take like a couple seconds to get there. That's why I like the Act 1 Merc. If she decides to actually do something, she can shoot cold arrows to the archers to slow them down. You don't have to rush level 2 pit. You can farm for like fully clear level 1. But like I kill a couple uniques. So I saw the level 2, so I just decided to just go. And there's always a few uniques on level 2 in the golden chest. I use fine items on uniques. And if you see like stone skin monsters, you want to use Grimoire on the body to reduce this resistance, because it's gonna make killing it a lot faster. And right there's curse enchanted monsters, archers. Really scary stuff. And now a few trav runs. It can be pretty spooky if you don't have maximum fire res or fire absorb. If you don't have a dwarf star, I would recommend using like Infernal Stride so you get maximum fire res, because most of the damage that you're gonna take here is fire from the Hydras. You're also gonna take some physical damage, mostly from Torque, because he's always gonna be curse enchanted, so you have to be mindful of that. And what I like to do is cast Grimoire on one of those like council members, not the unique ones, just the random council members. It's really nice when they are all grouped up like that. And sometimes one of them gonna be physical immune if he has the stone skill mod. So if you do get the physical immune, Grimoire is gonna remove the immunity, but it's not worth to kill him. Like right there, I just ignore him and cast my fight items on the others. Like just one console member is not gonna kill you. And you get a ton of gold here and uniques and stuff, so it's really nice. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section or message me on Discord, on the Path of Diablo Discord. And you can also follow my stream. It's also gonna be in the description, along with some tools like the skill planners or attack speed calculator. So everything's gonna be in the description. If you want to see a specific build or another type of video, just let me know. So thank you for watching and see you next time.